Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, Coinbase Pro confirmed the addition of Dash, the digital token, to its trading mix, but under certain conditions. New York and the United Kingdom will be exempted from trading during launch due to various regulatory limitations. Dash, a coin with optionally anonymous transactions, will finally be added to Coinbase Pro. The listing of the asset, however, does not promise a launch on Coinbase. Usually, assets end up being added to the wider market platform, offering retail investors a chance to buy into new coins. What we've seen at least the last 16 times, and I'm not exactly sure why they do it this way, but I guess it has to do with regulations, which are becoming quite bothersome depending on, even more so if you want to narrow it down, between the United Kingdom and just New York State. These are the main places that we keep talking about that have regulatory issues. So typically what we see is that something gets added onto Coinbase Pro, and then around a week later, it ends up being added to Coinbase.com. Coinbase Pro has stated it will not offer the anonymous features of the coin, meaning unknown entities will not be able to deposit nor withdraw anonymously. Here's the actual tweet for it right here. Deposits will be opened on Monday, the 16th of September. That's a couple days from now. And trading will start in phases when Coinbase sees evidence of sufficient activity. Dash will be exchanged in pairs with the US dollar and with Bitcoin. Dash is one of the oldest coins relying on proof of stake mining, along with master nodes for an extra security layer. But the adoption of Dash has been slower than expected, mostly due to the anonymous features of the coin. For those of you who do not know, Dash has been around since like 2013, 2014. It's been a very long time. Dash came out like a little bit after I got into the cryptocurrency space. And the idea behind it is that when Bitcoin came out in 2009, I don't know if you can find the old videos anymore, Bitcoin was touted as a completely anonymous coin. There was that nothing can be traced, nothing can be found. You can do what you want, when you want, how you want. 2 or 3 years later, people were like, no, it's not really completely anonymous. If you do your homework correctly, you can make sure that no one can track any of your Bitcoin transactions. However, there are ways for law enforcement or governments, and like we also have the company known as Chainalysis, who actively tracks cryptocurrency transactions. They say they do it for against like countries under sanctions, but we know what it's really being used for. Anyway, the point being, this is when all the privacy coins started coming out. So Dash, Zcash, Monero. I think there are a couple others, but you don't really hear about them as much anymore. But these were the top 3 that you heard about quite often. The idea is that if Bitcoin's not anonymous, we have to create something that is anonymous, and therefore people will be able to transact and do what they want to do. A lot of these coins ended up being, the last couple of years, we had Silk Road, which was pretty much a website where people could buy or sell anything. And I don't mean some things, I mean anything. If you can let your mind wander, you could buy it on Silk Road. I'm pretty sure it's been shut down. I think there was even a Silk Road 2. I'm pretty sure that's also been shut down. These coins became very popular on that platform as you want to buy and sell whatever you want. You can also use a coin that has private transactions, and therefore you are in this futuristic utopian space. What has then come to pass is that within the last 2 years, as cryptocurrencies have garnered the spotlight of countries around the world, they have realized, of course, that they don't like coins that have private transactions. Why? Because the governments can't track them. The governments don't know where they're going, who's using them. And one of the main things that we've seen, especially over the last couple of weeks, is that government leaders say that even Libra, Facebook's coin, could be used for private transactions or financing things that are illegal. So what we've seen is an actual decline in the popularity of private transaction coins, simply because governments don't like them. They've slipped out of I think the top, a lot of them were in the top 7, top 6, top 5 coins for quite a while. A lot of them have slipped out of these positions. I have no idea what number they are now, but they're not as popular as they previously were. It is widely believed, however, if you want to know why Coinbase added or has added it to Coinbase Pro, is that in the future, regardless of, and this is the very weird gray line in the middle of all of it, is that regardless of what governments want to do, people are still going to use these coins regardless. It is heavily believed by many analysts in the cryptocurrency space, Dash, Zcash, and Monero are probably going to find their own little niche markets as Bitcoin becomes more mainstream, as XRP is more used, as this is more tracked, as this is more so and so, as we have everything on other ledgers that are tracking our ledgers and, so on and so forth, that therefore there will be a new marketplace that will be built on top of, or rather, these coins will be used on top of these new marketplaces in the future. However, the very smart, dare I say, thing that we have seen come to be is that these coins, while they do have private transactions on top of them as well, they also have things where you can like lower the shields, if you kind of want to say that, so that people can see where you're sending the money or where the money has been sent from. And this is why they said there's no, if you are trying to use the anonymity features on your coin when you're sending a transaction, it will be blocked by Coinbase, yada yada, so on and so forth. The same exact thing if you're trying to withdraw it, to send it to a place, an address that also has these shields up as well. This is why we also saw last year, I remember being very perplexed for a couple of hours as to why they were all trying so desperately to add Zcash. It's because, once again, these coins, it is believed in the future, are still going to be used. However, it's also possible for cryptocurrency exchanges who are under regulations to be able to list these coins, because you can lower the shields, and therefore, if there's going to exist a marketplace on the side outside of the regulatory frameworky world, the value of these coins could potentially continue to increase as they're going to still be used. However, we can also still list them on our exchanges to be able to make profits from this as well. Quite fascinating, because realistically, there is no other reason for any regulated cryptocurrency exchange to even think about adding a coin like this, but the fact that you are able to lower the shields is kind of the obvious reason. It always comes down to money. Never ever forget that. Don't ever assume. I've seen a lot of people talking about before, when coins have been added to exchanges or anywhere, or someone announces support for something, they go, yeah, they get it. They're definitely here for the decentralization, for the cryptocurrency space. And it's like, no, it's just money. The reason all these coins or any coins have been added to any exchange is because they see dollar signs or euro signs or pound signs in their eyes, and they know that they can make money off of this. And they, believe me, any coin that's added to any, especially something as large as Coinbase and or Coinbase Pro, there have been many discussions behind the scenes as if, will this make us money? Like, are we just adding this because the value of it's going to go down or people aren't using it? It is probably expected to be continue to be widely used as we move into the future. Anyway, that's the Coinbase news, and let us move on. Next up, XRP is in the news. Ripple's fundraising and development arm, known as Spring, has invested $1.5 million in the Seattle-based crypto ATM company known as CoinMe. CoinMe operates 2,583 crypto ATMs around the world and bills itself as the largest Bitcoin kiosk network on Earth. The head of Spring, Ethan Beard, says he's looking forward to seeing XRP debut on the company's lines of ATMs. Here's the tweet right here. Ripple says the move into kiosk or crypto kiosk technology is key to the expansion of the ecosystem, according to a press release. They said this is the kind of infrastructure we at Spring want to support as it aligns with our mission to advance the proliferation and adoption of cryptocurrencies, such as XRP, to solve real-world problems. This is Spring's first investment in the cryptocurrency kiosk industry. The funds will be used to obtain additional licenses to operate nationwide and expand to key international markets. End quote. Ripple has invested more than $500 million in companies building on blockchain technology through Spring. For those of you who are a little perplexed and maybe don't understand exactly what I'm talking about, the company Ripple, this is about a good 80-20 of what's going on, 80% of it being exactly what we know, 20% of it being my speculation on the entire thing. One of the main things that the company Ripple originally came out for or advocated for was the actual usage of cryptocurrencies in worldwide payments. What we've seen, however, especially my opinion, since 2017, I firmly believe that just about every single cryptocurrency company, every single one, blanket on all of them, Tron, Ethereum, Ripple, blah, 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 blah. If you have an office, they've been touched by this situation. We're told that they had to make sure that their coins or cryptocurrencies or projects were decentralized enough, especially with the actual movement of the coins, the dispersidness. The coins had to be all over the place. They couldn't just simply be in one spot, if you kind of want to say that. So Ripple, the company, has created or has a bunch of subsidiaries beneath them, such as Spring, I think XRP Labs or LXRP Labs. I can't remember the exact thing, how it goes. And pretty much these companies are there to find other ways for the usage of XRP. This is why we also had news, which we haven't really heard a lot about it before, the XRP smart contract platform. The idea is to get the usage of XRP worldwide and not just within one little tiny ecosystem. It also ups the usage of your coin and also allows more people around the world to be able to obtain your coin, and therefore the decentralization question poofs, goes into smoke. I think this is one of the many things. It is also relatively clear that the Ripple team is doing to make sure that XRP is kind of all over the place, and also to make sure that I don't want to say that they're not considered a security. I think that entire conversation is completely just gone now, especially with Binance US listing XRP as the first thing. But you get what I'm saying, especially if you've been here for a while. You understand this is the entire security, decentralization, coin spread around the entire world discussion. I wonder exactly how they, I was going to say I wonder how they got this partnership, but I guess it was $1.5 million that slid across the table. I wonder exactly what effect this will actually have on XRP. I'm not talking about the immediate price or how quickly the price is going to go up or anything like that. But as far as having access to, usually when I've seen crypto ATMs, they're usually only Bitcoin. I've seen a couple that have been Bitcoin Litecoin ATMs. I have yet to see a Bitcoin / XRP ATM, which I think is going to be very fascinating, especially if they are the largest. 2,500 ATMs is a huge amount especially for a relatively new space thing, cryptocurrency, whatever, cryptocurrency world sphere. And I'm sure we'll get more news about this. Usually when partnerships like this happen, after a couple of months, we end up hearing the numbers and the news and how successful things were and how so-and-so and how much, how many people were on it and how many people have they sold out this much in XRP. I assume some of the escrowed XRP will probably also be allocated per month to these ATMs as well, which also then leads to the question, or rather than the same situation where they get rid of their XRP, it goes into the ecosystem. People around the world can then also buy the XRP. So the XRP in the world is spread more amongst thousands, if not millions of extra people. And therefore, the question once again of decentralization, kind of that bee keeps slamming into the window. It's driving me absolutely insane. I was gonna say, if you were here, I know none of you were here. 5 of these bees slammed into the window at the exact same time. I'm not sure what they're seeing in my house, but I would love to talk with them because it's very, like, they keep going almost like eye level next to the window, slam. Anyway, the point is, that is the XRP news, and here's the actual article for it on Medium. It says, investing in CoinMe. Let us move on. Next up, Binance is in the news. Binance's new dollar-backed stablecoin known as BUSD or BUSD. Someone tell me, what did people say in the comment section? Someone said boost. No. BUS is bus with a D is bust. I don't think that the meaning of that was meant to be boost, or they should have definitely learned how to spell a bit better, because I'm going to keep calling this bust because it looks like bust. Created in partnership with the Paxos Trust Company, will be made available for trading on the cryptocurrency exchange the week of the 16th of September. Announced on Thursday at CoinDesk's Invest Asia conference, Paxos' co-founder Rich Teo said, "We minted our first batch of Binance US dollars. It will be made available for trading starting next week against a few trading pairs such as BTC and Binance Coin. Earlier this month, the Paxos Trust Company, which already issues its own dollar-based backed and gold-backed stablecoins, obtained additional regulatory approval from the New York Department of Financial Services, or the NYDFS, to issue BUSD. Now, Binance will list the asset on this exchange, which is the largest globally by traded volume. There's a word missing there. Alongside a slew of other stablecoins already listed on the platform, such as USDT, USDC, and PAX. Cool. This was definitely going to happen. there's just a lot going on, and it usually comes down to the amount of money that's flowing around out there. And I think one of the really weird, significant parts is that, all right, first off, if you're connecting the dots, Binance with Pax is listing the BUSD stablecoin sometime next week. Next week is also when Binance US is also launching, so I'm pretty sure that BUSD is probably also going to be on it as well. And it's also just this really weird, and also the approval by New York regulators for all of this to happen. Something is brewing behind the scenes that we may not ever get actual clarity on. But I wonder exactly what role Binance is now going to play, especially when you have been legally approved to be able to work within the United States. I'm pretty sure they're also trying to maybe potentially get their New York bit license. I wonder how this all connects, exactly where the money is going. I wonder if we will hear of any future partnerships with the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ with Binance, because I'm fairly certain someone behind the scenes is trying to get in contact with them. I would assume it's Coinbase more than anybody else, but this may also be why Binance is trying to expand further into the United States. Anyway, this is another, it's a very fascinating thing when you as a company realize that you are rich enough, strong enough, powerful enough to be able to create your own currency. It's kind of odd. It's very, very weird, but we see this across multiple exchanges. I think the only ones who have not done so thus far are Coinbase. Everyone else has their own US dollar-backed stablecoin crypto thing that they have on their platform, except for Coinbase. I thought the B was inside. My goodness. It was a shadow. I would not be surprised if Coinbase... No. I don't think Coinbase is large enough to even think of trying to do something like Libra, but I assume some stablecoin something from Coinbase is definitely on the horizon. Next up, the government of Germany has spoken against the authorization of the development of Facebook's forthcoming Libra stablecoin in the European Union. As German weekly news magazine Spiegel reported on the 13th of September, the Christian Democratic Union, or the CDU, parliamentarian Thomas Heilmann, who is responsible for the blockchain policy of the CDU and the CSU, the Christian Social Union in Bavaria, set to be approved later in September. The government will deny projects like Libra. Heilmann stated that it was agreed in the Grand Coalition not to allow market-relevant private stablecoins. Market-relevant. Up to now, the economy has done a great job in countering crises and inflation with measures taken by central banks. Once a digital currency provider dominates the market, it will be quite difficult for competitors. The report, however, notes that it is in its blockchain strategy that federal government envisions development of a state-run digital currency. I think what we're seeing is the beginning of European Union leaders, states, countries, starting to talk about the launch of or the creation of their own digital currencies, which I think is going to be quite fascinating because thus far, we've had just about every major country come forward and say, no, we're definitely not going to do this, or that there's no need for it, or the United States and Japan have come forward. This was a major thing last year as well, when I think 4 countries had come forward talking about, let's create our own coin. And immediately, Japan and the US said, no, no one can do this. So this is what I think a lot of the negativity is coming from Libra. I think personally, if governments already had their own cryptocurrencies or their own digital tokens, I think there would be no discussion about Libra being able to launch. I think there would be absolutely no problem at all. But once again, they've taken far too long on too many things, too many issues, and now they're being spanked because of it. I can't think of another word. They're having issues for having not done so already by themselves. And this is now the second or third country within the European Union to talk about the actual no against Libra. And I think it's quite fascinating because we also just had news a day or two ago that Germany is on the cusp of a recession. And I feel like you should probably be paying more attention to your own. I mean, well, I guess they kind of are. I wish I could be there for the talks that happen between government leaders and just any type of economist, because I assume a discussion that has gone on is like, We can't allow this to launch. We're going to have a recession. What happens when we have a recession and Libra launches and Libra ends up taking off? What happens to the euro? I mean, the euro also by itself is not the most stable at the moment. Many world currencies, regardless of how large they might be, are also not doing too well, except for the US dollar, which continues to hold strong. And that's simply because when you spread out and you are being forced, or you force other countries to use your currency, you're not going to falter as much. Here's the actual article right here from the Spiegel talking about it. Next up, Cuba. The island nation, suffering decades-long embargoes with the United States, has turned to cryptocurrencies to procure goods from a globalized e-commerce world. The spread of mobile internet in the past year has allowed Cubans to shop online for goods that are a given for most markets. This was reported by Reuters. Beyond direct trade, Cubans are cut off from acquiring banking services, of course, debit and credit cards, but locals still have ways to acquire crypto assets, and those are still censorship-free for the moment. Jason Sanchez, owner of a mobile repair shop, uses Bitcoin as a way to acquire phone parts and other essentials. Cubans are what I found the most fascinating, and it's very interesting that this has happened organically. One of the main ideas, which has kind of been sideswiped or pushed to the side by Europe, and I want to say a large part of North America, is that Bitcoin is just about the money. Like I said, to be fair, I get it. I got it. I also would like to make more money. The entire idea of Bitcoin was to be able to use, or rather that people around the world who were in dire economic situations would be able to use Bitcoin, or just be able to transact in general, to send value back and forth for things that they wanted, that they needed. And the fact that we've seen this, like I said, happening organically, that it's happening without people being forced into it, that people are realizing, hey, we can't do A, B, and C. With that over there, we can definitely use it because we now have access to the internet. It really, no, it sounds cheesy, but like it touches my heart that regardless of where people are in the world, they can still find ways to transact and help their businesses and to be able to buy this and to be able to do so and so. If they're under sanctions, or even if their government tells them that you cannot do so. Cubans is some of the users of crypto payments to top up mobile phones. One of the most widely applied use cases for Bitcoin and other major coins. Acquiring and trading crypto assets is usually happening on a small scale and informally through the Cuban crypto Telegram chat. Unfortunately, Cubans will still be banned from participating in the larger crypto economy, as exchanges apply almost the same restrictions as banking services. The country itself does not regulate cryptocurrencies. Fusiona, the first crypto exchange in the company, is also one of the tools for Cubans to connect to the global economy. I still find it to be great. I don't assume within the next 2 years, I'll give it a year and a half, within the next year and a half, that Cuba or many other nations that would benefit from cryptocurrencies are probably going to adopt it. I doubt that it's going to happen. I think it'll take a bit longer. But once again, it's still nice to see that this is actually happening. I guess the main reason for this story is that these are no longer isolated events. We're seeing news like this at least once a week, 52 weeks in a year. That's still a lot of news pertaining to different countries around the world who are under sanctions, embargoes, restrictions, can't do this, can't do that from the US or other countries, and people within the country realizing you can tell us no all you want, but we can still go online with our phones, download this app, and transact value back and forth. It's very fascinating. I really would love to see how this is going to take place in the future, exactly how much of this will have evolved, because most other, and I'll put it to you this way, and I was very fascinated by this thought as well, and in a podcast they were talking about the actual way that other cryptocurrency firms, businesses, how they get their coins out there, especially during the entire 2017 ICO craze. Everyone lost their minds. Everyone was going completely insane talking about buy my coin, buy this so and so and so. Bitcoin doesn't really have any advertisement. You don't walk down the street and see a Bitcoin ad. You don't really see Bitcoin commercials. There's no Bitcoin TV shows. There was a crypto movie. It was terrible in my opinion. Bitcoin doesn't have any advertisement, and the fact that people around the world are still figuring it out, realizing that they can do this, that people in other countries, the 6-7 major countries who are under sanctions by the US, that people in these countries continuously talk out and they say all these things. They may have their face blurred, but they still say, yeah, I transact value in Bitcoin. I live on Bitcoin. Me and my family are surviving because we have 3 Bitcoin mining machines and it makes us enough money per day that this is how we eat. I love it. It's very fascinating. And I still hope, it would be nice, I think this is far too utopian in my eyes, but that people who are already mining and stuff like that in these countries will also benefit monetarily when Bitcoin does go up. I would like to see some even 100,000-aires in these countries because that money goes a long way. Like I was watching something before about people in South Africa. There was a guy, he was talking about how he collects cans and stuff like that. And I think it allows him, his wife, and his 2 kids, I think, to be able to eat per day. This is how they, this is how they live, because she takes care of the kids. And he goes out and finds stuff all day. And I think at some point he said he was taking some of the extra change and he had put it into Bitcoin. And this Bitcoin gave them enough. It was very weird. Like it went up enough that they were able to buy like a new shack somewhere. And now they have like one of the biggest houses on the block and stuff like that. So he continues to put like a couple of dollars per month or something like that into Bitcoin. And if you think about it in a really weird way, like imagine a situation where he's putting in dollars, $3, $4, $5 per month, like whatever he can actually afford. And somewhere in the future, Bitcoin ends up going up very high, and that money ends up being 13, 14, 15, 16, 17,000. Think of a world where him and his family live off of $1 per day. That's 365. So 3,005. That's 10 years. That's 3,000 something. Imagine him having, what's that? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years worth of living expenses completely covered just because of the couple of dollars that he was putting in. It's a very, I love it. Not to spend too much time on this, but this has been very big news. Here's the actual report by Reuters. It says, the skirting U.S. sanctions, Cubans flock to cryptocurrencies to shop online and send funds. It's great. I personally don't believe that any one person or entity or anyone in general should be able to tell an entire country what they can and cannot do, because in my opinion, it's one thing to restrict world leaders from things, but when you tell the actual people who don't make the decisions themselves that they can't do so and so and so, it's a bit much. Once again, that's just my opinion. So it's nice to see that we are having more stories like this. Venezuela is, of course, always in the news. Without even going too much further into it, Venezuela's largest bank, the Bank of Venezuela, has added support for the cryptocurrency's controversial Petro digital currency. As cryptocurrency news outlet Decrypt reported on the 13th of September, BDV clients have discovered a new section in their online banking account dedicated to cryptocurrencies. At present, the crypto wallet only caters to Petro, but as the section appears to be still under development, speculation suggests more tokens may follow. For those of you who do not know, the country of Venezuela created their own cryptocurrency about a year and some change ago. It has already been banned, re-sanctioned by the United States because it was kind of made under false pretenses. This is my opinion. It was made in whatever. The point is, Venezuela has their own cryptocurrency. No one's using it. I have friends from Venezuela who tell me no one's using it. The government has tried, apparently, according to news reports, tried to get people to use it. I think you need, this is from the news that we had, I think you need to use their crypto in order to be able to buy a passport. I think to maybe also buy plane tickets. They're like advertisements like draped all over all their banks. And now apparently it's also in all of their bank accounts as well. The other tie into this is that every single time that we get news about the Petro happening within the country, we end up getting new news from the people from local Bitcoins as to exactly how many people in Venezuela are using their platform. I know maybe a lot of you aren't looking at the screen, but for those of you who are looking at the screen, or for those of you who have already seen the charts from before, the first time we started talking about this, the chart was somewhere around here. Every week, there's a brand new record for the people within Venezuela who are buying up Bitcoins through local Bitcoins. And it's nice to see. One of the legal ways, interestingly enough, one of the legal ways to actually get money into Venezuela is through the country's remittance platform, where this is why I still am perplexed why Bitcoin hasn't shot up even further, in my opinion. They allow the Petro, I think the Bolivar, their actual money, like dollar thing, and the other two things that are accepted legally to send money into the country are Litecoin and Bitcoin. You see where the world is going. You see where everything is moving. But I'm glad, once again, that people in these countries, and I wish it was more people, are figuring out that they can transact in these things. We also had a very weird situation last year where we don't hear about it as much anymore, where people around in Venezuela were actually using Dash as a method of payment. We don't hear too much about it anymore. I assume it's still taking place, but usually the news that we get from Venezuela at present pertains to people using Bitcoin or buying up Bitcoin or mining Bitcoin or local Bitcoin's trading volume going up within Venezuela. Fascinating. Also tying directly into this, according to data from Coin ATM Radar, Venezuela has finally gotten its very first Bitcoin ATM. Venezuela's first crypto ATM was installed on the 10th of September in the city of San Antonio del Táchira. Okay, according to data by Coin ATM Radar, a website that facilitates the online section for the nearest Bitcoin ATM, Latin American firm Panda BTM installed the Bitcoin ATM inside a small convenience store called Viajes e Inversiones. I think I said that correctly. The machine supports cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Bcash, and Dash. There we go. There's Dash, as well as the official cryptocurrency of Venezuela and Colombia pesos. Okay, that's actually that is very weird. That means, hold on. Wait, yeah. That means they got approval for this. It wasn't just someone throwing it into a store. If it has the Petro, the Colombian pesos, Dash, Bcash, and Bitcoin on it, that is quite fascinating. That means that someone in some fashion signed off on this. That is very interesting. Apparently, there have been previous attempts to install the Bitcoin ATM in Venezuela. At the end of January, crypto firm Crypto Buyer announced the coming installation and testing of a new Bitcoin ATM in the city of Caracas. However, due to unknown reasons, the ATM never went live. Love it. Very cool. I hope this continues. There are many countries around the world that do ban Bitcoin ATMs or restrict them or say you can't have them, you can't do so and so and so. I like that there are options like local Bitcoins. That's not me supporting them or advertising for them. It's just simply, I like that there are options for people to be able to get into the market as well. One of my main annoyances with all of this is that while governments continue to play games and don't allow their citizens to know about Bitcoin, to get into Bitcoin, when Bitcoin goes up, these people who could have been in the market years ago will not be able to benefit from the price rise. Anyway, I thought that was cool. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Yes to Crypto, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day. Minting Coins, Jeremy Fox, Jim Gardner, Anthony Charles, Nick Mangialavori, Paxis, Crypto Beer Shipmate, Vlad the Impaler, Richie Rich III, Nick Kanaya, Setsuna, Damian, Nicholas, Runner with One Piece, One Love, Cryptopolis, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Strange Radio Central, Mechanic, JR, Milweezy, Adobo, Bankroll Network, Crypto Joe, 242 to the World, Wise Night Owl, Jared Schneider, Triple M and J, Woody and Daisy, Brady Niels, Master Ventures in Thailand, Moham Maroney, Adam Graysick, and Professor Wally from Gunbot to University. Thank you all very, very much for your support at the moment. The cryptocurrency market is, rather, even if we just focus on the top 10, still doing the sideways shuffle. We are near, it appears, you want to know what's very weird as well? First of all, we are apparently near the end of this trading range that we saw the last couple days. We're getting very close and we're like evening out and just kind of going sideways. Once again, nobody knows where the price is going to go, but I kid you not. I think a night or two ago, I had a dream that the trading range had gotten so close. I think I had gone insane in the dream. I was just waiting for an actual movement, and I think the price skyrocketed. And this is obviously wishful thinking. I've had a couple of other friends who've also had like cryptocurrency dreams, which means you've been in the space for a while. Like when you start dreaming about crypto, that's how you you know you're like, I don't want to use the word addicted. I want to say dedicated. That's the nice word that I'll use. I had a dream. I think it went over to 25,000 like a couple of seconds, and I was like, like it was a really big gasp that I had in the dream. And I remember just being like this really weird euphoric feeling. Anyway, some of the other coins are kind of doing their own thing. Tron is up. We haven't had an enormous amount of Tron news. Dash is up. I assume it has to do with the Coinbase Pro listing, which is very fascinating because normally coins don't move up anymore on the news of a Coinbase listing. Maker's up. Cool. Yeah. So I think, and we are very, very close. This is the craziest part. We spoke about this. It's odd. I just want it to happen. We spoke about this for a while. Bakkt is 9 days away. I assume, don't take my assumptions for reality, that by the middle or the end of next week, we should start seeing rumblings of something happening. If 9, 10, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I assume that's next Monday, no? Yeah, if it's 9 days away, 2-4 weekend, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. I believe Bakkt is launching not this Monday, but the next Monday. By the middle or end of next week, the market should be moving in some sort of way. The trading range should have ended. And at that point, we will either see, in my opinion, an $8,000 Bitcoin or a $12,000 Bitcoin. The trading range has to end, and it's going to be a very dramatic conclusion. Either really shooting up or really shooting down. I don't mind either. I just want the price to really move. I would not mind at all, an $8,000 or $7,700 Bitcoin, somewhere around there. What that would do is allow more people. There's a cute little bird on the tree. What that would allow many people to do, is be able to buy up at a much lower price than 10,000 that we currently have. It would also annihilate a large amount of buy orders. As the price would drop, the buy orders would start to buy up at these prices almost immediately, which would cause the price to go up as well and spike. If we do shoot up and the price does start to go up, obviously, I think we'll pass by around 12,000. This is just a number that I kind of have in my head. We've been testing 11. We've been testing 10,900 for a while. If we break past that, many people think that we're going to hit 12,000. If we end up hitting 12,000, especially if it coincides any time around near when Bakkt is launching, this is going to make it into the news. Bitcoin has shot up in price because of Bakkt. It'll be the speculative nature of Bakkt has launched. I have to get into the market. I had no idea this was happening. Coupled in with Bitcoin is shooting up. I should have bought some more when it was 10,000, and therefore this will also cause a price rise. So I think both a negative and a positive will be good for the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's blah, 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 limit bottom, as low as it's seemingly going to go, appears to be 10,000. It dips around 9,800, but it immediately goes back up. We will see in the coming days. I have not been this excited for something in the cryptocurrency space in a while. I understand that people may not like Bakkt. They may not care for it. This is going to cause an enormous amount of money to flow into the cryptocurrency space. And once again, I am waiting for the numbers. When we had news once again that the CME was doing $500 million per day, like I said, most people have no idea what the CME is. Imagine for the New York Stock Exchange, they're going to be billions of dollars of actual physical Bitcoin flowing back and forth. I'm even more interested to see as well if these numbers will be reflected on here. Typically on like cryptocurrency price websites, we see like the volume that's happening on cryptocurrency exchanges. I wonder if they'll also list the daily volume of the New York Stock Exchange as well, dealing in Bitcoin. Logically, one would assume they would do so. Anyway, I'm excited for it. I don't know if you are, but we are very, very close to this. This is kind of like it's like an early Christmas for the cryptocurrency space. Also, ALSO. The last time that we saw the significant launch of a Bitcoin futures was at the end of 2017, and this led up to the rise of Bitcoin hitting $20,000. And that was a fiat Bitcoin futures. We are going to have a physical Bitcoin futures, which means that people are going to be hoarding Bitcoin in an attempt to have more to be able to do these trades back and forth. I'm excited. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, or great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Exciting times ahead. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. I hope you all go out and do something fun, do something great. I think we are there, almost there. We can see the end of the finish line or the beginning of the finish line for the next race, because this is going to go on for a very long time. Well, I'll tell you the truth. I sat there thinking a couple days ago, I was like, will I still be doing this channel in around 10 years? And I was like, yeah, probably. I was like, I assume crypto will be even more insane within the next 5 years. And I want to go on the journey with everybody. As Bitcoin is nearing $1 million, we'll look back on these videos and be like, Bitcoin was only $10,000. Anyway, I find it very fascinating. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will definitely be talking to you all soon. See you.